How important is a pre-approval to your process as a home buyer? It's really important. And I'm going to tell you today why it's so important that you need to have a pre-approval in place just to start viewing homes. It's pretty simple. You need to know how much you can afford to know what you should be looking at. And just because you're pre-approved for some number doesn't mean that you have to spend that, but it helps you judge how much you want to spend, what those payments are going to be. And until you know that, how do we even know we're looking at the right homes? My name is Jonathan Green. I'm the team leader of Streamline Properties on Market, brokered by eXp Realty. Been working with sellers and buyers for a long time, specifically on the buyer's end, but I'm going to tell you how this is important to sellers as well. The pre-approval is an important part of the process if you're getting a mortgage. If you have cash, awesome. You're just going to use cash. We're going to provide a proof of funds. This is specifically for people who are looking to get a mortgage. You have to have that pre-approval in place. What is a pre-approval? It's an affirmation by the lender that they have reviewed your credit history, your employment, funds, and that you qualify for this loan, barring other things that come into play later, based on your finances, and you can afford up to whatever it is, $500,000 for this type of loan. You guys will talk about what the down payment is, but that's something that we present as part of the offer. And the reason why a lot of us real estate agents aren't going to take you out to see homes before you have that is because if you see one that you like, you need it to make an offer. And when a hot market, you have to make the offers right away. Any time that you delay and you have to go spend 2-3 days getting a pre-approval is time that you could lose out on the house that you think might be the one. It's the most important part of the process. But I want to tell you something that most people don't bring up. If you're a home buyer and you reverse the situation, do you really think that home sellers want people who are buying homes who are not pre-approved at the amount that their home is selling for to see those homes on a private showing? Probably not. Would you? At open houses, it's all fair game. You're not required to have a pre-approval for an open house. It's open to the public. But for private showings with an agent, most agents are going to require that you have it. But if you think of it both ways, the seller of the home is really entitled to know that you can afford that property before you have a private showing of their residence with all their stuff in it. That seems like it's just fair to me. And that's another way that we explain to buyers why it's so important. There's actually a fair amount of homes right now, especially in the higher range, where you're not even getting a showing until you send a proof of funds or a pre-approval, because they don't want all of the extra traffic. There's no point in just having showings for fun. They're trying to sell the house. So they want to make sure that when you are ready to sell, you have a buyer who can actually buy the house. And having 10 private showings of people with no pre-approvals doesn't help anybody. So when we're doing intake with a new buyer, we of course want to make sure that they're fully qualified, but it also helps us in your search. If we know that you can afford 450, but you're comfortable at 400, we're going to move around the neighborhood search and advise you as what's available. And then we're going to start to see, because if you start looking at $500,000 homes and you don't even like them, and then it turns out you can only afford 450, we have to consider other areas where 450 might work. And if you say we get word from the lender that you're clear up to 500, but your neighborhood really starts at 750, it's another adjustment that we have to make. Your relationship with your mortgage lender is super important. We participate in that as an ancillary party, making sure that we have the information, that we're able to present the pre-approval. Remember, you cannot submit an offer on a home, at least not in New Jersey and really anywhere, without either a mortgage pre-approval or a proof of funds or some cooperative letter from a hard money or private money lender saying that you're good for the funds. It's the only way to do it, because if you submit an offer without anything backing the money in the offer, it's really just a piece of paper. So if you're a new home buyer or a returning home buyer, the most important first step is, one, get that mortgage pre-approval. And at the same time, you want to find a real estate agent that you can trust. We have 28 to 30 of them at Streamline Properties on Market, but all of these parties need to work together in your best interest, and advising you right up front that the best thing to do is to make sure that you have a pre-approval in place, so you know, one, what you can afford, what you should be looking at, what those payments are going to look like, and what else you have to do to protect your credit and resources up until the time of closing. You don't want to be leasing cars or leasing anything in the time that your home is pending. Those are things that a lender is going to tell you. We have a great lender that we work with, our preferred lender, Donald Danfuso of Homeland Lending. I'll drop his info into the description. We work great with him and we get our clients over to them. Even if you're not looking to buy for 6 months, it's very important to know what you can afford at that time. It helps us set up your search parameters. A very good lender will explain to you what the dings on credit are. They're very minimal. It's completely overblown. They don't run your credit 100 times. And lenders like Don can also do what's called a soft pull, which is just running a general thing. If we know we're about 6 months out, it won't even ding your credit, give an idea of what you can afford. That's it for today. I just want you to know that if you're looking to buy a home, you need to have a pre-approval in place. It's just what everybody needs to feel comfortable in the job. Make sure that we're working with people who are getting ready to buy and serious about the process. And it's also for sellers to know that you're serious when you're looking at their home with your agent. Have a great day.